How we doing, everyone? You know, I've talked about lawsuits here on the program before and on Ski Rex Media. We're going to talk about it again today because the lawsuits for the COVID-19 affected season pass holders are starting to show up, and I'm talking about it today on the Ski Rex Media podcast. How you doing, everybody? Tim from Ski Rex Media once again with another Ski Rex Media podcast. Fumbling around with my tablet on camera. So, we might do a blooper reel this time. There'll only be a couple things. It'll only be like 30 seconds, but it might be funny. Who knows? Anyway, like I said, Tim from Ski Rex Media, and I had a whole other thing to talk about. And what a great day to have talked about that other thing, because it's beautiful outside. And I would have liked to do this in the outside studio, but so much rain, the outside studio is still so much wet. So we're doing it inside again today. We're using the wonderful natural light that is pouring in through the windows, pouring in through the natural beauty of Vermont. And we all love Vermont, at least I do anyway. But like I said, I had something I wanted to talk about, and it's a beautiful day, and that would have been cool to talk about because that was something more positive. That was going to be a positivity thing. Keeping everybody happy, trying to keep creative. And instead, I come across this story that still has to do with COVID-19. And I know I'm saying I'm trying to get away from it, but it isn't easy. And I know you know that because everybody ends up talking about it a little bit. Well, I don't think we talked about it at all during the live broadcast this past Saturday, did we? The live stream, did we? I don't know. I don't remember. But I have to talk about it today. Why? Because this one hits close to me. Not in area, just in something I've talked about. And as I said in the little intro sequence, this is about another lawsuit. And you know how I feel about a lot of these lawsuits. I call them bogus, out and out bogus, because a lot of them, it looks like to anybody, like if you talk to somebody about these lawsuits on the street, they're going to say, well, you're full of shit. This person should be responsible for their own actions, not suing a ski mountain for millions of dollars because they weren't paying attention and then claiming negligence. Now, it doesn't happen all the time. Not everybody's trying to get over on the system. Not everybody's trying to get over on corporate America or the big mountains or even the small independent mountains. Not everybody's doing that. But a lot of these big time cases, and I say big time because they make national news, a lot of the ones you hear with $1 million or even hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions of dollars, as I said, payouts, they kind of seem bogus to me and typically to everybody I talk to. They do say, no, that's pretty bogus. They should have been paying attention. This is not about that, but I feel like it's on the same vein or the same, it's in the same realm. Because this, and people are going to hate this. And I understand why you're going to hate it, and I'll get into that too. But people are going to hate me calling this one kind of bogus. And it's now a class action lawsuit is coming out against Vail because Vail is not refunding on Epic passes due to the COVID-19 closures. They just aren't yet. And I shouldn't say yet because I don't know if they're going to, because they've held pretty firm on the idea of, we tell you, no refunds. But then they haven't really come out and said, what they're going to do. Other companies have. Altira is giving out deals. Some of the smaller companies are giving out deals. Some of the indie mountains are giving out deals. Not necessarily refunds or even full refunds or part refunds, but maybe even rebates on a pass or tickets for the next season or just honoring them. That's what they're doing. And this is just coming out swinging against Vail, saying out and out that they aren't going to do that. Not that they haven't yet, that they aren't. And that's really what the base is. This case is actually based on a couple of things. And this isn't just me reading from a news article. This is the, scans of the court documentation. Or at least it looks like it to me. That's what they say it is. And I'm buying it because I've seen stuff like this. We've all seen court documentation. We know what it looks like. And this is what it looks like. Anyway, what it comes down to is this. This guy in California, his name's Brian Hunt. Make your own jokes. He is suing Vail and has made it a class action suit, or at least his legal staffing or his legal team or his lawyer or whatever, the law office that he's working with. And pardon my gum chewing there. I didn't mean for that to be ugly like that. He he made it a class action suit, which is actually kind of brilliant legal strategy, but I'll get into that too. Class action lawsuit suing the Vail Corporation, Vail Resorts Inc. He wants a refund based on the days he didn't use on his Epic Pass because the mountains closed down. Now, here's the deal. Here's how I feel about it. Do I believe in the idea of refund when product has not delivered what product was supposed to have delivered? Absolutely. Absolutely. Take care of the customer. Absolutely. 100%. The issue here is, and this is where a lot of people are going to hate on it. When one buys a season's pass, whether it's to a ski mountain, whether it's to a theme park, whether it's to a water park, whether it's to a museum, when that pass is bought, it doesn't, people buy it thinking it guarantees that they will get the time. It doesn't. Any of these things can close down for any reason whatsoever. And since we're in the ski industry and we're talking about the ski industry, that goes for weather. That goes for anything, really. If you buy a season's pass, you're not going to get the guaranteed amount of days that you might think you are. And we know that's true. We know that you might not get the amount of days. And even in this case, later on in the documents, I'm still up here at the top, and I'm going to kind of go through it. I don't have to go through it in detail because a lot of the details in the court document are repetitive. But even in the court documents, the person who's bringing the Brian Hunt, who's bringing the case, who's bringing the case against Vail, says that on the ticket, it says you should be able to ski from wherever, as long as there is snow. In this case, that's a pretty weak argument, but it doesn't do, because of what I'm saying, because I'm saying, you don't have a guaranteed amount of days on your pass, and we'll get to that. We'll come back around to that too. Because you don't have a guaranteed number of days on your pass, it doesn't help this case in the way they think it does. As long as there is snow. We know that the 2019 and the 2020 season was kind of rough anyway. If you take the COVID outbreak out of the mix completely, it just wasn't snowing like it did, say, in 2018, 2019, where there was so much snow and, you had mountains that were looking at a full calendar year who were sitting around thinking, the operators of these mountains were sitting around thinking like, geez, we might not just go late into the summer, we might push through right to the next season, which would have been amazing, but it didn't quite happen. And it was unlikely to happen anyway. That's just the nature of weather. So, having said that, 2018 to 2019, in a way, people got more days on their pass than they might have normally. Without the outbreak, it's like you would have had less days on your pass. Then that's an absolute fact. Like mountains around here might have made it to April, might have. But, I've gone driving around and there's not much snow left in those hills on whatever today is, April 13th, April 14th, I think. There's not much snow up there, if any, and that's in New England. And obviously out west, there's going to be more in places, obviously. But again, it's not, like parts of Tahoe got 600-700 inches last year and are going to top out at like 4, maybe 5 this year. 400 or 500, you see what I'm saying? There's never a guarantee. So to come at it and say, well, my pass, I bought it, I should have had this much time, you owe me money. It's weak. It's weak in everything, especially when the mountain, and we know this, says, or the companies offering the passes, whether it be a single mountain season pass or one of the mega passes, it says it. As long as we can remain open, you can ski your ass off, and that's fine. But it does say there are no refunds and there are no transfers because we can't control the weather. The best we can do is blow snow. Very basically. That's what it says, basically. But now you could say this is different. This is COVID-19 outbreak. That hurts it even more. That hurts the argument even more. And here's one of my pieces of evidence to that. One of the things they cite in this document, it says this. Defendant Vail Resorts Management has made the unconscionable decision to retain its millions of customers' pass holder fees while closing 100% of its mountain resorts as the novel coronavirus, COVID-19, rages throughout the world and the United States economy has gone into deep recession. They're trying to turn it unconscionable. There's the word you got to look out for. As if they are the evil corporation. And maybe I'm taking it a little too dramatically, but the wording there is to make the company look like this is a bad decision or like it's a dicked off decision. That's the idea here, to make it look bad. But then they openly admit, due to the coronavirus. These mountains made the decision to close in part due because the states told them to close. That's what they did, and they saw it coming, where, Colorado closed down everything before Vermont did, and I use Vermont because that's where I'm at, and Vail is based in Colorado, so they had to shut down their Colorado operations. So they made the choice just to shut everything down in North America, Canada, everywhere. And it made sense because it did happen. And you could say, well, they didn't know that was going to happen. You're right, they didn't, but we all saw it coming. All of us. We knew it was going to happen because this thing just went like wildfire. And, states were closing down everything. And to the point of mountains closing, which is one of their biggest points, even the backcountry had to close. Like they're just closed. They don't want anybody anywhere. That's a fact. So does a mountain owe a refund on days if the season was taken away from them by someone else? Some would argue yes. I argue no. Again, it comes with buying the season pass. That season may or may not be longer. Now, if it did happen like a week in, there would be a point there. There would absolutely be a point there. If this was the beginning of the season, sure. If it was a week in, everything closed down, you didn't have a chance to use it. But it wasn't. Unconscionable decision to retain the millions of customer pass holder fees. The passes were issued. There was months to use them. I'm sorry to say this, but if you buy a pass and don't use it, that's on you no matter what the situation. And that's kind of what it feels like. And again, I've never talked to the guy. I can only go by the news reports I read, the news reports I write, and the legal documentation that I have here in front of me. And I'm saying, if like it says here, on March 25th, 2020, defendant announced it was closing all of its mountain resorts indefinitely. Subsequently, defendant, again, Vail Resorts, announced that its North America resorts and retail stores will remain closed for the 2019 and 2020 winter ski season. Defendant has not refunded any consumers for their lost mountain resort access. It said for annual pass holders, defendants have simply deferred all auto renewal charges and spring deadlines. And that was for the people who did not prepay for the entire season. And it says further, for Epic Day Pass customers, defendant has explicitly stated, despite defendant's closures, the passes are non-refundable and non-transferable. Which, again, we know that. Let's see. Also, accordingly, customers who did not have a chance to use all their purchase passes under Epic Day Pass program get zero consideration or compensation for their inability to use those unused purchase days, even if they wanted to. Now, here's another part of this case where, again, I'm not a lawyer. The only thing I know about the law is the little bit that we all learn in school about the judicial system. The little bit I've learned from Franklin and Bash and Marshall Erickson. The little bit that, any lawyer we may have run into, or if we ever had, if you've ever had to go to court because of a traffic ticket, you know a little. It's very little, but you know it. It's interesting to me that these lawyers think this is helping their case, because I don't see it. You admitted that openly that it was the end of the 2019-2020 season, and that, well, let's look at it this way. They're saying, that the defendant has done nothing for the people. The problem is they haven't done it yet. They're jumping the gun on this. Now, that will work in the favor of the customers, because with this coming out, unless Vail wants to throw money at it, and it does say somewhere in here that it's going to cost the mountain up to maybe $5 million an ending payoff, and that's before court fees and everything else. But it's going to force a response, if nothing else, and Vail's going to make, do the best they can to make as good as they can. But they might have been anyway. We don't know. and they're not giving the opportunity for us to find out. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? They're jumping on this early, and they have to. They have to, because Vail tomorrow could say, nah, dude, here you go. Here's your money back. Shut your face. And the thing is, this guy, he bought his pass. And again, here's where I'm going to go back to where he might have a point. Bought the annual Tahoe local season pass for $5. Says which promised mountain access from October 2019 to June 2020, so long as there was snow. There is snow, but you can't use it because they're closed too. California shut down. Again, not their fault totally. Let's see here. Defendant has retained the full amount of the annual pass fee. Should they refund that? I don't know. Again, if you didn't get to do it at all because this happened at the beginning of the season, there'd be a point. But this was not for him in Tahoe, obviously not the end of the season. April, May, they probably weren't going to make it till June this year, but who knows? They could be blowing enough snow. Who knows? I don't think they would have made it till June. But they could have made it till May. Obviously, they can make it till May. There's still snow out there. Maybe make it till June. Definitely would have made it till May. So you do lose. The guy lost a month and a half. If we look, you take a look at it, he lost a month and a half of skiing and had already had the opportunity to ski a shit ton. Like I said, this all starts to fall apart when you think about why buy a pass if you cannot or will not use it. And it also comes down to their specific passes. Like if you buy a specific 7-day pass, you may have a point. If you bought it and it is dated, a dated product for after March 25th when they closed down, when Vail closed down their North American ski operations, there is a little bit of a point there. If it is a dated product, you bought your tickets and pass to be used on whatever, April 1st till 5th, whatever it is. The mountain closed. You might have a point. But if it's not a dated product, which this may or may not be, I don't think it is. The Tahoe local, I think that's, a season pass. Like, go as much as you want, except for blackout dates, whatever they might be. Again, I don't remember that offhand, and I probably should have looked that up. So if you want to make fun of me for that, Biff, by all means. But the point still stands that, class action lawsuit, people are going to try and get in on this from all over the country, and it's going to be like, well, what did your pass work before that? Did you use it? That's on you. That is absolutely true. If you didn't, if it's a dated product, then of course, you should probably get your money back. But I think a lot of people here with seasons passes are getting kind of, they don't like that their season was cut short. And I feel for you. Nobody does. Nobody likes it. Everybody hates it. But were you able to use it? And I've already seen on the snowbrains.com did an article on this. And the author of that article, the person who wrote it, did say they're bummed out that they paid for their Epic Pass. I think they said Epic, or maybe they changed, maybe they had an icon. I can't remember which one they had, but they were bummed out that they didn't get to use it. And they had a whole plan to go do something else, during the spring. And there was a whole plan, and that's now shot to shit. But on the other hand, they got their money's worth, too. Let's not forget, if you buy a Mega Pass, a season pass for $4.99 Tahoe local, and I don't know what's on that one. Like I said, I just don't remember. You know what? I went ahead and looked it up. And Tahoe local, you get Heavenly, North Star, and Kirkwood. Holiday restrictions, but unlimited skiing and riding 7 days with Saturdays, and holiday restrictions. On top of that, you get 5 complete total holiday restricted days at Vail or Beaver Creek or Breck or Keystone or Crested Butte or Park City. So there you go. You can get a chunk of skiing on that pass. You really could. And as I said, how much did someone actually use? And are they entitled to, and this is another part of this, are they entitled to a refund if they used the pass versus the day tickets? Meaning, this guy bought his pass for $4.99 base. That's what it said. Probably got an early, late season discount, whatever it was. $4.99, 3 mountains. When did he purchase it? Maybe that might be in here. Let me roll down and see that. Because if he went and used it, and say day tickets, if he, in any of those mountains, I don't know offhand what the day tickets are, and we don't need to look that up because we know day tickets at mountains that size are averaging a bill, $1 each. So minus his fees and taxes and whatever on the pass, you 5 days and you're in, baby. 5 days and you paid for the thing. Oh, here you go. In June of 2019, bought it last summer. Purchased the annual Tahoe local season pass for $4.99. I actually just read this. Friggin' idiot than I am. Did he buy it in the summer and not use it? That's on you, brother. Hate to tell you that, Mr. Brian Hunt. That is on you. Now, we're going to see a lot of people talking about this. We already have seen people talking about it quite a bit. Are they owed refunds on the days they missed? And again, it is very specific. A class action lawsuit is going to be a mess because everybody's going to try and jump in on it. That's what a class action lawsuit is. Very simply put. Obviously, again, not a lawyer, not a judge, not a paralegal, not, fictional television. That's what I know about the law. But class action lawsuit needs a class of people. It's the plaintiff and those in the the plaintiff or similar. So there you go. Everybody's going to jump on it, but not everybody will be entitled. Again, I'll admit it openly. If you have dated product, and we're going to talk about Vail because that's what we're talking about, and they closed down March 25th, shut everything down. You had dated product, you had dated, reservations, which some of that they did say they were going to refund. Actually, this guy might be completely bats, because I know they said something that they were going to try and do something. I'm sure of it. Didn't I say that? I think I did in a piece that I wrote for Ski Rex Media. I'm pretty sure they announced that they were doing something. I know they just said they were going to do their cutbacks. Worker furloughs, work from home, canceling all the capital improvement projects, all of that. But I'm pretty sure they said they were going to, they were looking into what to do. So again, that kind of makes, they had to go early on this. Because if they didn't get this class action lawsuit filed before Vail had the opportunity to decide what they wanted to do, because they might. Everybody's doing it. Other mega passes, other single mountain passes have said, hey, we're going to try and make good on it because it wasn't your fault, it wasn't our fault, and it really wasn't even the state government's fault because, they're doing their best to curb this bullshit, outbreak. It sucks. People were getting sick. People have died. Death rates have gone way up in some places. It turned into a mess. Like, you all know what's going on. I don't have to talk about that. So everybody's trying to handle it the best they can without taking a loss they can't handle. You got to remember, this is still their business and they want to do right by their customers. But at the same time, there might not be a business for their customers later on down the line if they can't recover from this. And you could say, Tim, what's one early season going to be to these giant corporations? Honestly, I don't know because they don't have this issue normally. Like, this isn't, early shutdown from the weather, that they can handle. That's a common thing. Being told by the state to shut down because people are getting sick, that's something completely new. And that's not just the ski industry. That's every industry. That's every industry trying to figure this one out. They don't know how to handle it. And the ski mountains don't know how to handle it. And this guy's trying to capitalize on that. And his legal team is trying to capitalize on that. Again, I don't know the guy. I don't know his lawyers. Maybe my entire opinion is based on some unconscious inability to trust people. Which, okay, maybe that's right. I don't know. But to me, this is another bogus lawsuit because you don't know how many days you are going to get on that season's pass. You don't know. And it does say in here somewhere, I don't know if I can find it real quick, but it spoke to the idea of if he had known this was going to happen, he would not have purchased it in the way he did or not purchased it at all. Well, congratulations, bro. You are like everybody else. We don't know. Nobody saw this coming. Nobody knew. Nobody knew back last summer that in the spring of 2020, we're going to be talking about pandemics. People didn't even use that word before March 2020, man. I mean, obviously we did. I'm just being a dick. But, the point stands. We didn't know this was going to happen. We didn't know how good or bad winter was going to be. In the fall, Everybody opened early. Snow was being blown. Snow was falling. Everybody's opening early, even if it was one trail or even one half a trail in some places. One half a trail. Everybody's opening early. October into early November. Open, 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 open. All over the country. Open. It was going to be great. And then the snow stopped. The snow stopped. We saw it here in New England big time. We barely had a white Christmas here, man. Come on. This guy knew. He knows. And what it comes down to is the people who all right, look, here's what it comes down to. It comes down to individual basis. Everybody is going to be looking, not everybody, obviously not everybody, but there's going to be a lot of people looking into the idea of the refund. I deserve a refund on what I paid for because the mountains were not able to deliver. Again, individuals, if you bought something dated, hotel or resort reservations, dated tickets or ticket packs, dated lessons or rentals. Excuse my gum again for those watching. The listeners, they don't even notice, but the watchers do. If you had a dated product and it was after the shutdown, you do have a point and you probably do deserve your refund because they couldn't deliver. And the mountains are going to agree with that. They know that. Seasons pass, which is what this lawsuit speaks to specifically. You don't really have anything you can say because it natural, whatever actually started this outbreak, nobody saw that coming, and it is a force of nature. It is a work of nature. It's like a bad winter. It's the bad winter doesn't kill people. I'm not diminishing the virus outbreak itself at all. I'm not diminishing that at all. That's terrible. That sucks. But it is an act of nature in a way. I mean, not even in a way. It just is. We didn't see it coming. We didn't know. And, the question has to be asked. You bought your pass in the summer. The mountains in Tahoe were open. Some of them were, open in November, December, January, February. Didn't close till March. So what do you got? October, November, December, January, February, 4 months of open skiing. Was it used? Did you use it? If they did use it, did you use it more than 5 times? Because now you just got your money's worth on day tickets. You see what I'm saying? Do you follow me here? Like, I'm not saying I'm right by any means. I've been wrong before, and you know me. I always admit when I'm wrong. Always. I'm fucking wrong about a lot of shit. But I don't mind because if I'm wrong and I'm proven wrong, then I've learned something new. You know what I mean? But this, I see as just another way of someone trying to get over on a corporation. And I get it. Corporations are evil and corporations are bad and they're only interested in making money. And I understand all that. I don't necessarily agree with it all the time. I don't think corporations are these big evil things that we see in post-apocalyptic sci-fi stories. And I'm a sci-fi nerd, so I know a couple of them anyway. Not all of them. I'm not a connoisseur by any means, but I know my shit. And I do have my problems with the corporate world. I didn't want to work in it anymore either. And I worked at store level and I didn't want to work in it anymore. I get it. But fair is fair. And the fact is, they might not have been able to deliver on the season, but it wasn't their fault. And it's really no different if they had to close because the winter sucked, which it kind of did in most places, Even though there are places now that do have their snow and might have made their annual average. I don't know. Nobody's talking about that because we're all more preoccupied or more, our minds are occupied by the virus. And for some places, it wasn't that early of a close. It was a month. For here in New England, most of these mountains would have been closed by now. And, that's just the way it is. You lost a month. And again, dated products, one thing. If you've been able to ski on your pass all season, I really can't have sympathy for your refund. I really can't. Now, does that excuse the mountains from handling it poorly, it depends on what we mean by poorly. If they got, because this did broadside them, if their customer service people are racing to catch up, that's great. That can be understandable. If their customer service people are pricks, that's kind of stupid. I heard tell from one of the Twitter followers that the Icon representative they talked to basically told them just to go ski in the Southern Hemisphere, which was a stupid thing to say because their season might not open. And it's not, not everybody can just bop on off to the Southern Hemisphere. Plane tickets to Australia and New Zealand and South America and South Africa. Not that Icon matters in South Africa, but you know what I mean. It's not easy to get down there. I talk about it all the time. The season that doesn't end in the 21st century, the season doesn't have to end depending on one's means, depending on one's resources. But this year it did because we all got blindsided by something nobody saw coming and nobody's really experienced in handling. And I mean that on the industry level. I'm not talking about the political end of it. I'm talking about the industry level. It's not every year that the ski mountains get told to shut down just abruptly, So am I kind of saying, take it easy on them? Yes, because you may deserve your refund. But this Brian Hunt from California who says they didn't deliver and there's still snow in the mountains, that's bullshit. Yeah, there's still snow in the mountains, but it isn't about the snow anymore. It's about the fact that they had to close. And that is what your pass is. It has nothing really to do if there's snow on the mountains. It has to do with the mountains fucking open. All right? Sometimes these mountains close and there's still snow. What's the difference if the mountain would have closed in, say, May? But there's still a 6-inch base up there with enough, terrain to actually ski, but the lifts are not turning. Are you going to fucking sue for a refund because, it's just their time to close, which it would be anyway? I see the difference. And I see where there's no difference. And I don't think people are doing it. I think people, like I say, with a lot of these bogus ass lawsuits is they're out to make a quick buck. And, more power to them if they do, but it's bullshit. And again, people think of the corporations as big and evil and, doing my evil face. And so juries tend to side with the plaintiff. It's not the most fair thing in the world. Businesses are, in some cases, just people doing their job. They just do it really well and make a shitload of money while they're doing it. So it all has to be balanced out. It all has to be balanced out. And I don't think a lawsuit like this is going to, because if there's one going up against Vail for the Epic Pass, there's going to be one going up against Icon. The Indy Pass, get down. They might come for you too. You never know. So that's my 2 cents on that. Again, it wasn't like I was going to do anything to shock the crowd. You know how I feel about these lawsuits against the ski corporations. Do I kind of take it personally? Maybe a little because I've been in the industry. But, some of it, I would say that about anything. I said that back, when people were burning themselves on coffee at McDonald's and then suing for it. It's like, really? Come on, dude. That's kind of stupid, but they got away with it. And I think this is just another example of that, trying to take advantage of the corporation. But like I said, I could be wrong. It happens. I'm wrong a lot, whatever. I learn something new if I'm wrong. But do you agree? Do you disagree? You might, you may not. I don't know. You can talk about it if you want to. Head to Ski Rex Media on the various social media platforms. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We can talk about it on there if you want to. You can talk about it in the comments below, depending on where you saw this. And on YouTube, if you watched it, it's the easiest to put comments down there. I'm not so sure every audio platform does it, but if, depending on the audio platform you want, if you want to check out another one, available on Spotify, excuse me, podcast available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio. There's another one, actually, I think I set up, and I don't remember what it is, so there you go. Ski Rex Media Podcast everywhere, available almost everywhere. Buzzsprout, obviously. So, and you can email. All this stuff is linked down in the description. Audio and video formats down in the description. Take a look. You can email Ski Rex Media if you want to talk about it, or if you have something, I'll make sure you get credit for whatever you say. Just make sure your name's spelled correctly and that you give you tell me how to pronounce it, because I have fucked up on a couple of names on this. Let me tell you, it's not good. So there you go. you can interact with me and tell me, what do you think? Do you think I'm wrong? Do you think I'm an asshole? You can call me asshole. It's fine. I don't mind. Do you agree? Do you see the point? Are you in the middle of trying to get this done? Are you getting your refund, or do you think you used it? You used the right number of days to make it worth your money. So screw it. Why go through the hassle? Whatever it may be, you can let me know. Or if you want to talk about something completely random and different, do you want to talk about the live stream from last Saturday? We've now done 2 Ski Rex Media live stream and virtual opera parties, and we're going for the trifecta, going for the hat trick this weekend. I do not know what the topic will be, but maybe by the time this is posted on Wednesday morning, I will know what the topic will be. The last one was kind of fun. We didn't have as many people as we did the first time. So get in there, tell your friends, tell your family, tell everybody, bring them, invite a date. It's a virtual opera party, man. Bring a date. And we can do all kinds of stuff, and I'm still working on the technical aspects to get people to be able to call in. Still working on that. I do have hardware limitations, but then I might not. I don't know. Still working on it. We'll see. But thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I might as well just make that a word because I say it every week. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Every time. I should just do it first. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Much easier. Anyway, thank you again. I am Tim from Ski Rex Media. I hope you're having a good week, a good time. I hope you're not completely losing your mind in isolation, quarantines, all that stuff. Stay positive, man. We're almost done. I can feel it. We're almost done. Just a little while longer. You can make it. You can do it. Stay positive. Stay creative. Do what you can. Talk to your friends. Write a book. That's what I'm doing. I don't know if it's a good one, but it's something. Do some artwork, clean the house, fix your bike. I have to do that. Clean the car. I have to do that. There's all kinds of stuff you can do at home. Have that adventure by crossing your backyard, as I always said. And then we'll be back out and ready and raring to go. And it'll be a great ski season for 2020 and 2021. It'll be amazing. And maybe it'll start in May when Beartooth Basin opens for the summer season. I don't know. Or maybe Australia will get open, or South America or South Africa. Okay? In any case, the light is there. The light at the end of the tunnel is there. There actually are places in Europe starting to open up, in China and Norway. I know China's not in Europe. I know that. But you know what I mean. Czech Republic and Norway, and then also China. So there you go. Places are starting to open back up for the little bit of skiing they might have left. So we might have a brilliant season next season. Plus indoor joints might be able to open back up too. I don't know. But like I said, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. That's right. And I will see you on Saturday. And then I'll see you on the next one of these. Subscribe, share, like, comment. All that good stuff helps support the program. Also Patreon and the merch shop. Links below. I'll check you later. Bye.